Now, back to Coastal Living on KZTV.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Coastal Living. We have Dr. Sissy Reynolds-Perez, who is the Assistant Superintendent at West Oso ISD, and Texas State Representative Todd Hunter with us. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Now you're with a new task force called Stop Texas Suicide. Tell me about what you do on your own and then what inspired this task force.
Well, I'm Assistant Superintendent at West Oso ISD, so go Bears.
Yes.
And really, this came about because of a couple of suicides that occurred last year here in Corpus Christi. Yep. And they occurred at my daughter's school. And when my daughter came and shared with me about what had happened, she was devastated, and she and her friends. I reached out to Representative Todd Hunter to see if we could do something about this, and we have found out a lot about suicides in Texas that are alarming, a lot of things that are alarming, especially the fact that the rate in Texas is much larger than even the national rate of suicide.
And are there any stats on that explain why?
Yes, if you go to the Suicide Prevention Hotline, there's so much information out there that shows all the data. And we did a PSA about it, and 3 of our students that are kind of like our representatives, I guess you could say, that are from the same school, Veterans Memorial High School, they say some of the stats, and it's pretty alarming to listen to them.
It is. And Mr. Hunter, what is it that inspired you? I know you were a busy, busy man, so what was it that caught your attention and encouraged you to want to take some time to...
Well, last fall, Sissy and a bunch of folks from the community approached me. And I'm going to tell you something, everybody listening. It's time to shine the light on suicide. Let's quit sweeping it under the carpet.
Yep.
You shine a little light, you'll get light and darkness.
That's right.
And so what we're seeing is students, families, veterans, they're all getting involved. And the key for this show is that Sissy's group, Our Community, Clarissa, came up with the idea that every September for the next 10 years be Suicide Prevention Month.
Yes.
And it came from the Coastal Bend. So what better idea to help suicide prevention than the Coastal Bend doing leadership for the state of Texas?
Amen to that. And you guys have made some really big waves since you started this movement. Tell me about that.
Yes, well, the biggest thing was it's hard to find people to talk about it, you know, because there's such a stigma, and it's such a very sad topic. But if we're not talking about it, then we're adding to the problem. You know, we need to be part of the solution. And really, when you talk to teens, like I shared with our teens at West Oso, a group, they came up to me afterwards and to their sponsors saying, finally somebody's talking about it, we're talking about it, and trying to get something done about this. We need to really teach the kids some social skills. They need to know that, you know, if you talk to a student, you may be saving their life because maybe you're the only person that talked to them that day.
Exactly.
And so that's what we're trying to do, is empower our students that are in the schools right now who are suffering greatly to help each other out, become active.
In that conversation.
And knowing that, and this symposium that's coming up is going to affirm the fact that what they've been working on has paid off.
Yes.
There were 2 bills, you know, that got passed, you know, that Representative Todd Hunter submitted for us. One of them is HCR 137, which is the one that he just talked about. The governor officially designated September as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Okay. So now everybody should be talking about it, and you'll see a lot about it. And it's no longer just one person or 2 people talking about it. The other one is House Bill 3980, and that was that the state of Texas needs to keep records of, collect records of suicides. What is contributing to it?
Start getting stats on it.
Stats on it. What is Texas doing to prevent suicide? And so I think with those 2 things, I mean, that was great progress. That's
a huge step in the right direction.
A huge step.
Big time.
Yes.
And bless you too for, I mean, you just saying, I'm sick of it, something needs to be done. For it to catch your attention, like I said, you're such a busy man. I'm sure so many things get put past you that you're like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. Right. Things could go in one ear and not the other, but you have a big responsibility as state representative.
Well,
so
she gets into my ear.
She's like, I have something to
Hello.
say. Well, and bless your heart for doing that and getting rid and helping get rid of that stigma, starting the conversations amongst the teenagers. You're not speaking to them, you're creating that conversation amongst them, empowering them to create a community of themselves so that they understand what kind of power they have at a young age. A lot of teenagers think they know everything, but when it comes to standing up and being a facilitator in an important conversation, I think a lot of times we get kind of, we shrink.
Yes.
And they don't want to talk and they don't want to state anything in case they're wrong. So this is a situation where a lot of people, as you mentioned, veterans, students, mothers and experiencing postpartum depression, a lot of people suffer with these thoughts and they feel like they can't talk about it. And these days we talk about all kinds of stuff, so what's the harm in talking about mental health and suicide awareness? So
Yes.
I commend you too for making such a big move, especially here in Texas, especially for us to be able to keep those stats and try to get to the root of the evil and understand what it is, what we can do to help, how can we raise awareness, how can we get them the help that they need to move forward from that experience. So guys, we're not done yet. We're gonna be right back with Dr. Sissy and Mr. Todd Hunter to talk more about Suicide Awareness Prevention Month. We'll be right back.
You're watching Coastal Living on KZTV, the only lifestyle show made in the Coastal Bend for the Coastal Bend.
Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.